I do want to update on a big event that occurred 2 weeks ago. It was the South Carolina Democratic Party Convention, annual convention held in Columbia at Benedict College. It was an amazing event. How many here were present at that convention? That's a good number of people. Good. And I saw all of you there. It was a lot of fun. Great speakers, and I appreciate all of our delegates who came out, participated. I want to share some news. Last month, I encouraged the delegates to vote for Alan Moore, one of our own. He wasn't able to make it today, but he wanted to be a delegate to the National Convention in Chicago in August. And yes, he was voted in, thanks to all your support. So we have a member from Greenwood who will represent us. And he's ready to make waves and report back on what he saw and carry the message out there. So congratulations, Alan. We wish him the best. We had a wonderful dinner the night before, and we were able to fill 16 seats, 2 full tables from Greenwood, so it was a great turnout locally. But that dinner, while the food was good, it didn't even compare to the speakers that we had. We were graced with Representative Jim Clyburn, who was always amazing and willing to step up for the Democrats. But then we also had Senator Raphael Warnock from Georgia and Senator Cory Booker from New Jersey speak. Now, each of them spoke for about thank you. They were amazing. Each of them spoke for about a half hour. So I'm going to play their full speeches for you right now. No, I'm kidding. But what I would like is for the next 12 minutes or so, I pulled out some good clips of each of them so that you can get a taste of what it was like and hear some of their key words and just be motivated as we head towards our live in-person speakers. So without further ado, we're going to start off by listening to Jim Clyburn and then the other speakers after him.
But now we're going to invite our esteemed Congressman and my former boss, Congressman James Clyburn, to the stage to give some remarks.
Today, there are many young people and not so young people who just had their student loan debt eliminated. How many of you had your debt eliminated, or your child's debt eliminated, or your nephew's debt eliminated? Raise your hands. And you ain't got no reason to be for Joe Biden? Let me tell you why. Joe Biden took over a program that went into effect in 2017. I want y'all to think about this. The Public Service Debt Relief Program came into effect in 2017. Who was president in 2017? Who got elected in 2016? Took office in January 2017. He was there in 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. And in those 4 years, only 7,000 people got debt relief to a tune of less than $300,000. Joe Biden took office in January 2021, and in 3 years, over 4 million people have gotten debt relief to the tune of $300 billion. I want to say that now. That ain't no M. That's a B. And when people tell you the young people got no reason to vote for Joe Biden, you tell them they got every reason. But that program is still in effect. And let me tell you something. Joe Biden gets reelected, we're going to improve upon that. It ain't going to be 4 million. It's going to be 8 to 10 million. If that other guy gets elected, he'll do what he did the last time and eliminate the program like he's done for everything else. So Democrats, Stop this foolishness. Stop this foolishness. I was in Pennsylvania this past weekend, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. People are excited about this campaign. And I'm going to leave you with this one fact. Last Tuesday, 3 days ago, we had an election for the United States Senate nominees, Democratic primary in Maryland. And guess what? 2 days before the election, Sunday, last Sunday, the poll said Alsabrook was down 5 in one poll, down 7 in the other poll. She had no chance of winning. When they counted the votes Tuesday night, she won by 13 percentage points. So I don't know what these polls that they're talking about. I know about that one poll on election day. I know what the New York Times poll says, what the Washington Post poll says, but I know what the people said. And the people delivered the victory. They're going to do the same thing in November. Wake up. Don't listen to the garbage. Let's win this race. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to help join me in welcoming United States Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock to the stage.
Elections matter. If I hadn't gotten elected, if Ossoff hadn't gotten elected, if Cory Booker weren't there doing what he was doing, we wouldn't have gotten all those things done. And I can tell you something else. Had we not flipped the Senate, as we did in Georgia, you would not have a Supreme Court justice named Ketanji Brown Jackson. Senator Booker can tell you because he's on the Judiciary Committee, and he knows that if we didn't have the majority in the Senate, even with Joe Biden in the White House, there is no way in hell, yeah, the preacher said it, that Mitch McConnell would have brought Ketanji Brown Jackson up. And so today we confirmed her. It was a special day. The chamber was full. On both sides of the aisle, we were there. And standing there around the presiding chair, sitting in the presiding chair was the Vice President of the United States. Senator Booker and I were standing there near the presiding officer's chair talking to the Vice President. And I want you to get that picture in your head because when the three of us were standing there, we represented at that time a slightly more than a quarter of the black United States senators ever in the whole history of the Republic. Three of us. That was a quarter of the black senators ever. And the Vice President said, you all know this is a special moment. We said, it is. She said, you all ought to do something. You really ought to take this moment and write a letter to somebody who comes to your mind. She made that suggestion to us, Crystal, the way black women make suggestions. We know when we've been voluntold. And then she gave 2 distinguished United States senators each a sheet of paper. But it wasn't just any sheet of paper, it was the letterhead of the Vice President of the United States. I knew immediately who I'd write that letter to, because the only job I love more than being Georgia's senator, the only job I love more than being Ebenezer's pastor, is being the dad to my 7-year-old precious daughter, Chloe, and my 5-year-old son, Caleb. Chloe was 5 at the time, and I sat down and I wrote a letter. I said, "Dear Chloe, today we confirmed to the United States Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. In the long history of our nation, she is the first Supreme Court justice who looks like you, with hair like yours. While we were confirming her, a friend of mine, the Vice President of the United States, suggested that I write a letter. By the way, she's the first Vice President who also looks like you, with hair like yours. I write simply to say that in America, you can achieve anything you set your head and your heart to do. Love, Dad."
So, without further ado, South Carolina Democrats, it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage United States Senator Cory Booker.
South Carolina! South Carolina! Come on now, sit down. I'm the last speaker. I'm between you all and a fish fry. It's not a good place to be. The first time I was on Air Force One, it was with President Obama. Now, let me tell you right now, I miss Obama. I miss Obama. I love Obama. I mean, I love her husband too, but I miss Obama. I miss you, Michelle. Michelle, if you had married me, I'd be president right now. So Michelle's husband invites me to go on Air Force One. Now, when you go on Air Force One, Brother Clyburn, you could give me an amen on this one. President Obama is very regal. You know, you walk up to the top of the steps, and they tell you you'll be sitting here. This is where the president will come out at this time. He'll come over to see you. You have some good quality time with the president, and then he goes back to wherever he goes to. This week, I get invited by Joe Biden, a whole different experience. Joe Biden meets you at the top of the stairs. He's like, "Cory, how you doing, man?" He goes, "Come on, get on board." Hugs you at the top of the stairs, and then he starts giving you a tour of the plane. It is like getting a tour of MTV Cribs. He's like, "Come over here, man. Come over here. Let me show you. This is where I talk to the world leaders. Let me show you where I sleep, man. This is where I sleep." He goes, "And that's the bathroom, man. That's the presidential can, man." He is having fun in the job. And then he comes back and he sits with us nearly the whole flight. It was me and another senator, and he offers me M&Ms. Now, I don't eat M&Ms, but these are presidential M&Ms. So I opened my bag like I was at a church picnic and had a purse, and I put all the M&Ms in it I could fit. There's no shame in that game.
Like I've told some others, I would pay money to watch Cory Booker on tour. What you saw there lasted a half hour, and it was riveting. I mean, this guy was unfiltered, told you behind-the-scenes stories. By the way, this entire video is available online on YouTube. If you want to hear more and see more of what you saw here, Make sure you check out our email newsletter. Make sure that I put a link to that full video in there for you, and also our websites and Facebook and all that. And if you still can't find it, just give me a call and I'll direct you to it. It was recorded by Fox, Carolina. They had to suffer and sit through it for a full 2 hours, but they took a good quality video and shared it on YouTube, and I am grateful for that.